Yeah, would you like to talk a little bit about what your thoughts are on how would we evolve? How do we become a better humanity?
Yeah, well, first of all, you have to think about what makes a human being. What are we really? And of course, we are more than just the body and the brain. We're more than just a physical component. We also have a spiritual component. And so when we talk about becoming better people, it's not, if we look at like secular humanists and their vision for how to better humanity, it's all focused on social programs. It's all focused on a lot of secular stuff. But what they're missing is they're missing the true spiritual component. And that's something that religion throughout history has offered. Only problem is religion is very corruptible, because anytime you concentrate power in the hands of a few fallible people with egos, they inevitably, even over the several generations, they always screw it up. And so whatever good
Yeah.
intentions religion started with, over time, it's it's taken on a very corrupted dimension, as we've seen with the Catholic Church during the Inquisition and so on. And so what do we need? What we need is we need something new, something better than the secular humanists can offer, something better than these elites can offer with their materialistic, nihilistic agendas. Something better than even the old time religions can offer. And that's nothing more than higher truth, like higher spiritual truth. And the problem is, how do you how do you get that? Well, the truth is out there, as the X Files would say, right? And the truth is out there, but the question is, we have to find it. And we have we have assets that we were born here with. We have the asset of intuition, we have the asset of discernment, and we have the asset of being able to communicate with one another to share ideas. And so what there needs to be is, which is already underway actually, there needs to be a sharing of ideas, a discussion of it, and the application of true spiritual genius level insights to get at the truth of who we are, what's really going on, and to comb through the literature out there, to comb through our own personal life experiences, and to really think about it and to extract the wisdom from it, to extract the lessons about how things really work. For example, what if you what if you were a skeptic for a lot of your life, but then one day you witness a ghost, or you have a major synchronicity that you can't explain, or maybe your brother has sees a UFO or something, or, has an alien abduction, some sort of anomaly that contradicts your paradigm that you were stubbornly holding on to. It's these anomalies that kind of chip away at the ignorant consensus that is out there. And so that's what I've done in my own life. As a kid, I've had a lot of paranormal experiences. And when I was a teen, I read so many books. I did so much research trying to figure out what it all meant. And so my view over time has evolved to where now I take on I take on the biggest perspective that it possibly can. So my perspective isn't just limited to the social and political realm. I'm more into the big picture about what's coming up for our planet. Um, how do otherworldly beings fit into it? Uh, what about, for example, the afterlife? How does that explain everything that's going on here? What about the Eastern concepts of karma? Things like that. There are flaws in all these concepts, but there's also truth in there, and you have to combine it all. And I think the more we each individually do that and network with each other, we all kind of raise our awareness together.
Mm.
So there's just a lot of communication, a lot of figuring out, investigation, research to do, and inevitably, when you do that, you come closer and closer to realizing that you yourself, that your consciousness is beyond matter, it's beyond physicality, and that you come from a higher realm that is essentially divine. The core of you is very, very, very close to the infinite divine creator. And that's the part of us that we need to hold on to and not get so sucked into the material dramas that are here. Because for all we know, I mean, if you think about the idea that we live in a simulation, which is a pretty popular idea that's been growing over time, if we are in a simulation, some would call it a story generating machine. In other words, it takes our consciousness, it takes our thoughts, and it spits back dramas that we kind of get wrapped up in. It's an infinite story generator. And if that's the case, then so much of what happens here is actually a spiritual distraction. Okay.
Mm.
So much of here is mostly a spiritual distraction. It's like a carnival. It's a carnival for the soul. And you can go from this game to that game to that game. But in the end, each time you play a game, you pay a couple bucks, and in the end, you wind up with nothing. So, as much as we get involved in things here, whether it's activism, whether it's stuff in our own community or lives, we also have to keep the higher perspective in mind, and think about what the priorities are. Like, what is it that you can take with you when you die? You can take your memories with you, your friendships, your relations, your love, um, the lessons that you learned, the changes that you underwent in life. Those are the things that really matter. The people in your life, those are what matter. And there's so much else out there that doesn't really matter. So we just have to prioritize and put our energies first and foremost where it really counts. And then secondarily, yeah, go ahead and play whatever game you're part of, and do your best job at it, but don't get the two confused.